There is only one you, and that is your superpower. You can't F that up. However, you can get stuck. That's why I created this space called Unstuck Yourself with Crystal Simmons. Unstuck Yourself is about figuring out what has you feeling frustrated, isolated, or depleted of energy so that you're able to unstuck yourself on your journey through life when you don't know how to move forward. Unstuck yourself in your career that no longer excites and challenges you. Unstuck yourself with negative thoughts that seem to be doing cartwheels in your head consistently. I don't have the answers. You do. You always have. I'm providing the time, space, and grace for you to reconnect to that knowing. I'm Crystal Simmons, coach, speaker, and facilitator, and I'm grateful you made it here. Let's begin to unstuck yourself. Welcome back, peeps. It's me, Crystal, your favorite unstuck corporate coach. And y'all know about Crystal's AAAs. As life keeps lifing, this will help you to increase your awareness to what is and isn't working, but yet you find yourself repeating, no judgment. Once that awareness is heightened, then it allows you to recognize your innate abilities to take purposeful action. Today, in Crystaltown update, up and down, ebbs and flows, the what the F's and the, oh, this is fun. Just continuously, I'm aware of it and I'm learning how to ride that what the F wave. And I'm realizing that life is beautifully weird. Like, it really is. There is no one way to do this. There's so many different avenues to experience this life. One day I'm feeling peaceful and restored. And then the next day I'm crying. I'm praying to God, asking, why is this happening? What do I need to learn from this situation again? So if you're a huge fan of the HBO series Insecure, you'll remember the last season where Issa Rae, the main character, goes back and sees her former self wearing braces. And she's talking to herself in the mirror and she's like, ooh, we got our braces off. She's like, let me see your teeth. Show me how you eat. I can relate. I can relate to that. I had the traditional braces and now I have experienced Invisalign. It is so important when you do any type of treatment, follow through the entire treatment. I love showing off my teeth. So if you have wanted to be a part of that, call Bates Orthodontics today at 804-258-4268. You can also visit them at batesbraces.com, BATESBRACES.com for a free consult. And you can schedule it by clicking their green button up at the top and follow the 3 easy steps. If you're not local to Richmond, visit Invisalign.com, enter in your zip code, and you'll find the perfect Invisalign provider that is in your area. Again, let me see them teeth. Because it's the same story. It's the same movie that plays over and over and over again, but yet there are different characters in the movie. Whether that's acquaintances, friends, family, just different people, just different actors. But I am thankful that my feelings and your feelings are not permanent. If you are consciously increasing your awareness, you will begin to see that your feelings are not permanent. Now, when I say that, I think about, but what about the good feelings, the peace, the joy, the excitement, the fun? One, I don't know any human being that could be like on 10, 24/7. They always say too much of a, wait, how's it go? I'm not even going to try. I don't know. I'm beginning to become grateful that feelings are not permanent, any of them. And each feeling I experience has a purpose. Whether I know it at that time or it eventually comes out or I have that aha moment later on. It could be months later. It could be years later. These encounters, they present an opportunity. And it doesn't mean I jump to the opportunity like, yay, I'm sad. Awesome. No. But if I'm aware that I'm sad and I have feelings where I begin to cry, I allow myself to cry. And I would say that started consistently this year, 2022. Y'all, I'm almost a whole 40 years old in the year 2022. And I'm just now allowing myself to cry. Not judge myself for crying. I still question it. If I'm crying like 3 days straight, I'm like, yo, what is going on? But every time it brings clarity. I have moments of epiphanies, of aha, like this is the same movie. This is the same thing that keeps playing out. And instead of me, what I normally do is go directly to the lower level of energy, to that blame. It must be someone else's fault. And now that I'm actually getting into the mindset of, okay, well, that hasn't worked for almost 4 decades. What can I do? And that is what I've been doing in life. And I've been doing it consistently. And it is effing tiring. I'm exhausted. I am not as excited about certain things as I used to be. And I'm allowing myself to feel that without judgment, without I should want to do this. How come I don't? I'm not questioning it. I'm allowing it to be. All of that has allowed me the opportunity to grow. And I mean an abundant amount of growth, meaning I didn't even know I wanted this and needed this and would be thankful for it. So if you decide to accept the opportunities, no matter how it comes, and I have found that it becomes easier when we remove the judgment of this is a bad opportunity. This is a good opportunity. Just this is an opportunity. What can I learn in this opportunity? Whether that's, oh wow, I have a lot of people who are around to support me. If I just share just a little bit, I don't have to pour out all my guts. I don't have to pour out all my feelings. I don't have to vomit my feelings onto them. But just like, hey, I want to kick it. I miss seeing you. Or just getting a hug. But if you decide to accept the opportunities that come to you, just as it is, and just sit for a second, think about what it could be. And that is what I've had to do in these last couple of weeks. So let's get into it. I hate saying the F word. And I don't know if you all have heard me say the F word. I'm talking about failure. The definition of failure is lack of success. Why are we talking about failure? I'll tell you why. As I share my story, I want you to think about a time where you deemed yourself as failing something, where you had a goal or a plan to succeed in something and you didn't reach that goal. Some people may say, I don't use the F word, nothing is a failure, everything is an opportunity. And that's cool, but it doesn't make for a good podcast episode. No, I'm just joking. I don't typically say I failed. If you go back and listen to the episode regarding perfectionism, it's episode 30, Unstuck Yourself from Perfectionism. Some people may believe and maybe not even say it outright that I can't fail if I don't try. We have things in our brains that kind of keep us from having that open conversation and being aware of, I'm going to make an excuse of why I can't do something. And you might not even notice you're doing it. It might be a habit. So in today's episode, failing forward in our shame, doubt, and fear, oh my series, your girl Crystal failed. Ugh. This was the most recent failure I experienced, and it's probably one of the biggest ones where I have to retake my coaching final.
Oh no.
Yes. Okay. It is still fresh as F. And I have learned so much from this experience. So much so, I said I have to share this. Because as soon as it happened, the feelings came in flooding. Blame, anger, embarrassment, shame, fear of judgment, questioning. I had the doubt of, will I be a good coach? Am I a good coach? Oh my gosh, what will people say? What the F? I knew I had this in the bag. And then, so let me take it all the way back. For my coaching certification with IPEC, we are required to do hundreds of hours of training, webinars, peer coaching, client coaching, so much studying, practicing, mentor sessions that I'm so grateful for. And my old egotistical self, because it was purely ego driving that brain, that boat, that action of I want to get my certification as soon as possible. And it led me here. So today I'm going to share 3 key steps on how you can fail forward. Dun, dun, dun. The 3 will be, number 1, we have to define what success means to you, not me, because failure is defined by the lack of success. So the first thing, what is success to you? Number 2, being aware of your thoughts when failure presents its stink-ass self. So being aware of your thoughts when failure comes. Number 3, what actions can be taken with this increased awareness of this reality? So let's get into it. Defining what success means to you. In my situation of me failing to receive my certification through the coaching program, I received an email that gave me an outline of what markers I missed and the things I need to work on. And reading those feedback, reading those comments was so scary at first. I glanced at them quickly and then printed them out, but I didn't take them off the printer until the next day. The day of, I just kind of skimmed the email. I was like, oh shit. Great. Awesome. This is embarrassing. This is awful. And all those thoughts start flooding in. I text my husband to tell him, and he didn't know what to do. And he gave his condolences. And then I let my family know. And half of my brain was, I don't want anybody to know. And then the following second, I told myself, no, I need to tell everybody. I'm increasing my awareness of when the voice inside or the ego, whatever you want to call it, is trying to protect me. But it comes on so aggressively, and then it feels as though I'm by myself and I'm lonely. Whenever I have that feeling or that thought, I'm like, no, I can't be by myself, because I know those thoughts will keep going. It would just mature, and it would go down into a spiral of this branch of thought, this road of thought, this train wreck of thought. So I told my husband, told my family, and I did have a plan in place of, I'm definitely getting my certification. I just have to acknowledge these feelings right now of fear, doubt, and shame to then go through it on the other side. So when you reach a point that you have not succeeded in whatever that goal is you set for yourself, think about what success means to you. Does that success align with your true values? Is it to your core of who you are? In realizing I needed to retake my final coaching call, it hit me. I was embarrassed. I was ashamed because I wanted to be one of the first people in my coaching cohort to receive my certification. I was embarrassed because I know my coaching cohorts think I'm a phenomenal coach. So I was fearful that if they heard that I didn't pass, that I was no longer a good coach. And all of these thoughts just started coming, and I began getting clarity for it. After telling my husband, telling my family, my husband's like, what can I do? What do you need? And you're still a good coach. And I was like, I appreciate that. I'm going to kind of put my phone down and cry. Because I knew I wanted to release that shame, doubt, and fear. And I'm finding that for me, sometimes that's crying. For me, sometimes that's wanting to punch the wall. For me, sometimes it's I need to go run. For me, sometimes is I need to work out. And sometimes it's telling people the scariest things to release myself of feeling weighed down by the shame and the doubt. And once I realized that all of those thoughts of me feeling like, oh my gosh, that's embarrassing. I thought about I wanted to be the first one to get my certification, and that's why I rushed the process. That is not success. To have a title or to achieve this first, quickly, what is that? It's ego. That's not me, because it felt like shit. Like it was awful. So when you are setting a goal, is that goal in alignment with your true values to your core? Meaning, does it bring you peace? If I was the first to obtain my certification, if I was the quickest in obtaining my certification, what value does that serve? That's not the value that I have for collaboration. That's not the value of being vulnerable. That's not my value of having fun. What is that? And if you have forgotten what values mean, the definition of values is the regard that something is held to deserve, the importance, the worth, the usefulness of something. How is that my worth if I obtain my certification faster, quicker? One of the first ones. So that blew my mind. And the second key to failing forward, what are your thoughts that come up when you did not succeed that goal or that expectation? What are the thoughts? Are you judging yourself? Are you judging what other people might say about you or how they might judge you? Are you having that negative self-talk of, well, that's dumb, that's stupid? And that's how I normally speak, where I say that's dumb or that's stupid. My ego doesn't talk about me. It's like, it puts it out in the air. And I don't know if anyone else feels that, but typically I don't have the thoughts of I'm embarrassed, I'm scared. It's normally just like, how can I put this? It's like a fog in between who I am and then who I present myself to be in the world. That is perfect. It is the fog in between who I actually am and how I present myself to the world. So the thoughts that came up was, oh snap, this is going to mess up who I present myself as to be in the world and how other people see me. So that's why the embarrassment was there. Because to my core, I know people know I'm dope. I know this. And even when I told the people, even my coworkers that I have grown to know even more, they're like, you're an amazing coach. We coach each other back and forth just because we are coaches. This is not something we turn off and on. It is who we're developing ourselves to be and being aware of and allowing others to do the same for them. What are those thoughts that are coming up for you in those times of failure? I want you to understand, and I know you've heard this before, no one is perfect. No one. I am not perfect. You are not perfect. Really sit with that. If you know that to be true, that no one is perfect. If we miss the mark just a tad, why does that make us less than? Why does that make us not worthy? The goal was not reached at that time, but maybe we were missing something. So I was missing something. In me trying to obtain my certification, who I truly am was not matching up with my actions of practicing, of acknowledging the space to create, instead of looking at the time and being like, oh my goodness, this is going to be too long. Because your coaching time, it has to be 30 minutes long. And I think at the least it could be like 20 minutes. So there were things that I missed during that coaching session. And it pains me, but it also frees me to say, I remember having that thought of, ooh, we might go over time. And because I was so driven, because the goal was to finish first or quickly, I didn't tell myself, oh, we need to do another coaching call. The goal did not match my value. So being aware of your thoughts when failure presents itself, I became aware of it. The next step is what action can be taken now that you're more aware. I was more aware of, oh, snap, my value's all messed up. It humbled me very quickly. I had this flood of emotions going up and down. And the action I took was to not be alone, to not shame myself into a dark hole, to not put that fear of, oh my goodness, will I be able to pass this again? Am I a good coach? Will I be even better coach? I was stuck in that feeling of, oh my gosh, am I a fraud? Are people really going to question my abilities? And that is why I text my husband. That is why I text my family very quickly. And I also reached out to some of my peer coaches and I asked them for help. My action is to ask for help. It is to expose myself because I have learned in me trying to fix things privately only builds that ego muscle, only builds those thoughts of doubt, fear, and shame. That is why there's so many resources out here, whether you're picking up a book, listening to this podcast, actually linking up with a coach, a mentor, going to therapy. They all serve different purposes, but you gotta ask for it. People aren't mind readers. We talk about that. So what actions can be taken when you have found yourself feeling like you have failed at something that you wanted so bad? The action could be any of the things I just shared, but I want to bet that something just popped in your head that you had an action that is true to you and who you are at the core and not who you present to the world, where we can remove that fog in between so the two are a perfect reflection of the other. It's not distorted with that fog of shame, doubt, and fear, the ego, the voice, whatever. And this is so dope for me to share this because, a year ago, I'm barely telling my family because in my mind, our beautiful minds, I allowed it to control me for so long when we have the power to control it ourselves. And that is what this action is. Sharing this episode was something that I wanted so deeply because I thought it would make me more valuable, more reputable, more successful. It did none of that. Seeing the email that I have to retake it humbled me quick. And it has been a while that I have been humbled and I actually enjoy it. I don't want to learn this way, but I'm thankful for the perspective. It allowed me to have compassion for others who operate differently from me. And I can say I wasn't given that to others all the time. I could be better. And this experience has allowed me to do that. And it allows me to be human. The person of whom I have presented myself to the world to be is someone who wants to be perfect, but also knows they can't be perfect, but also is creating a jungle in her brain for no reason. So I'm letting that shit fly. And I can honestly say I'm thankful in this moment to say, this will be a great story to tell over and over and over again because I'm human and I'm thankful for that human experience. I want to say the last time this happened for me was not getting to X-ray school. When I first applied, I had just finished at Richard Bland Junior College and I applied to one imaging school because I was like, I don't want to go to VCU or MCV in the city and I don't want to go to Southside Regional Medical Center because it was so far from my house. I want to go to Bon Secours School of Medical Imaging. I applied and I didn't get in. I cried. I was like, what the F? Because I'm choosing, why would I cut my opportunity short like that? And I was like, what do I do for a whole year now? Because I didn't apply anywhere else. It made no sense. But I was so gung-ho of, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I want to do this. And then the universe was like, well, let's see if you want to do that because you won't be able to. So I think I went back took a class or 2 classes at John Tyler. That's right, because I needed statistics to apply to that's what it was. I didn't want to take another class for another. It was just a mess. I learned quickly. The following year, I applied to all 3 schools, to the point where Southside Regional Medical Center gave me the acceptance letter first, but then Bon Secours, I think like a week or so later, was like, hey, I know you applied last year, but are you able to retake the entrance test that they offer? And I just told them, hey, I got accepted at Southside Regional. You go ahead and you can give my spot to someone else. I don't even know if they're going to offer me a spot, but I was like, I don't even want to do that. Whatever. I'm in, I'm going. And that was the best decision of my life. Being in that school, rotating in those hospitals taught me so much. Even though my goal was still to get to Bon Secours, if y'all have listened to all the episodes before here, you know, I got to Bon Secours and it damn near broke me. So just be mindful of what you're fighting so hard for. Be mindful of what you're chasing because it might catch up to you. There might be roadblocks, quote unquote, that keep stalling. You're like, why is this so hard? Why is this so hard? Just pause a little bit. You might find the answer you're looking for. And with that, peeps, this is a wrap. I want you to really know I thank you for those who listened the day of, for those who listened the day after, for those who are listening now or listen a month later. I thank you. For those who share this podcast with one person, you have no idea how that one share is impacting us all. You, the person you shared it with, they could potentially share it with someone else. They might hear just one little nugget that changes their lives. So I thank you. Each person who has listened to one word I have said, I thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Thank you for riding with me every week, every other week, every month. I don't care because everybody has stuff going on. So I'm not holding you hostage. I want you to come and go as you please. And if you have any inkling of, I got a show idea. She mentioned something. Please, if you have my number, you can text me. If you don't, email me at crystal@crystalclearpurposes.com. You can also find me on Instagram, even though I'm kind of chilling out with social media, here and there. I just want to detox. I've never not been on social media for a given amount of time. So I'm considering it. Hit me up on Instagram, Crystal Clear Purposes. Really, y'all have no idea how this space has allowed me to grow so much, and I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you for being you, for all that you do in your day-to-day. Hopefully these gems that I keep dropping are picked up and spread around to everybody. But I love y'all, and until we speak again, stay curious, and we'll talk next week. Until then, get unstuck, peeps. Bye!